Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is Soil and Water Conservation Engineering. Definition of terms. Part CFG. Elevated flame. It often serves as an alternative to siphon crossing a depression. It is usually a rectangular hollow trough that is supported above the ground by reinforced concrete or structural steel. Elongation. An increase in the hose length caused by pressuring the hose. Envelope filter. Granular material or geotextile fabric which surrounds a subsurface pipe drain to prevent soil inflow and enhance eater entry. Equalizing ditch. Secondary ditch. Usually parallel to a field ditch. Used to furnish irrigation water to two or more furrows. Erodibility is the vulnerability or susceptibility of the soil to erosion. It is a function of both the physical properties of the soil and land management practices. Erosion, the wearing away of the land surface by running water, wind, ice, or other geological agents, including such processes as gravitational creep. Accelerated erosion, erosion much more rapid than normal. Natural, or geological erosion, primarily as a result of the influence of the activities of man or, in some cases, of animals. Geological erosion, the normal or natural erosion caused by geological processes acting over long geological periods. Gully erosion, the erosion process whereby water accumulated in narrow channels and, over short periods, removes the soil from this narrow area to considerable depths, ranging from 0.5 meters (1.6 feet) to as much as 30 meters (97 feet). Interral erosion, the removal of a fairly uniform layer of soil on a multitude of relatively small areas by splash due to raindrop impact and by shallow surface flow. Natural erosion, it is the wearing away of the Earth's surface by water, ice, or other natural agents under natural environmental conditions of climate, vegetation, etc., undisturbed by man. See geological erosion. Normal erosion, the gradual erosion of land used by man which does not greatly exceed natural erosion. Rill erosion, an erosion process in which numerous small channels of only several centimeters in depth are formed, occurs mainly on recently cultivated soils. Sheet erosion, the removal of soil from the land surface by rainfall and surface runoff. Often interpreted to include rill and interrill erosion. Splash erosion, the detachment and airborne movement of small soil particles caused by the impact of raindrops on soils. Erosion class, numerical ranking of erosion or erosion potential obtained in a soil conservation survey. Erosion pavement, a layer of gravel or stones left on the surface of the ground after the removal of the fine particles by erosion. Erosion potential, a numerical value expressing the inherent erodibility of a soil or maximum potential soil. Erosive velocity, velocity of the erosive agent necessary to cause erosion. Erosivity, the potential ability of water, wind, gravity, etc., to cause erosion. Erosivity index, a relative value of erosion potential based primarily on rainfall. Evaporation rate, the mean rate of evaporation measured over the past test period, the quantity of water evaporated from a given water surface per unit of time. Farm main, an outlet ditch serving an individual farm. Farm ponds, water impounding dams, refer to the temporary detainment of water in farm pond and dams to mitigate the erosive capacity of water. Field capacity, amount of water remaining in soil when the downward water flow due to gravity becomes negligible. Filter, wells, sands, gravels, or fibrous materials placed around a well screed or perforated casing to increase permeability near the well and prevent unwanted aquifer particles from entering the well. Filter pack, sand, gravel, or fibrous materials placed around a well screen or perforated casing to increase permeability near the well and prevent infiltration of fine materials. Filter strip is a strip or area of vegetation often situated at the edge of a field or along a waterway that is used for removing sediment, organic matter, and other pollutants from storm water runoff. Final infiltration rate, basic intake rate. Float method measures the velocity of a floating object, preferably in a straight section of a stream. Flood control methods are facilities for controlling flood flows. Flood damage, the economic loss caused by floods, including damage by inundation, erosion, and/or sediment deposition. Flood forecasting, prediction of stage, discharge, time of occurrence and duration of a flood, especially of peak discharge at a specified point on a stream, resulting from precipitation and/or snowmelt. Flood gate, mechanical gate to prevent backflow into a closed conduit during high water stages. Flood plains, lowland and relatively flat areas adjoining inland and coastal waters, including flood-prone areas of lands. This land includes, at a minimum, those areas that are subject to a 1% or greater chance of flooding in any given year. Flood peak, the highest magnitude of the stage of discharge attained by a flood, also called peak stage or peak discharge. Floodplain, any normally dry land area that is susceptible to being inundated by water from any natural source. Floodplain storage, volume of water that spreads out and is temporally stored in a floodplain. Floodproofing. Any combination of structural and non-structural additions, changes, or adjustments to structures which reduce or eliminate flood damage. Flood routing. Process of determining stage height, storage volume, and outflow from a reservoir or reach of a stream for a given hydrograph of inflow. Flood spillway. An auxiliary channel to carry a flood flow that exceeds a given design rate to the channel downstream. Flood water retarding structure. Barrier across a watercourse usually designed with a restricted outlet of the temporary storage of runoff and release over time. Floodway. The channel of a river or stream and those parts of the adjacent floodplain adjoining the channel which are required to carry and discharge the base flood. Flow augmentation. The addition of water to a stream specially to meet in-stream flow needs. Flow line. Lowest level of flow in a conduit or channel. Flushing type. Drain valve. Valve on the end of a line for the purpose of flushing out dirt and debris. Foot valve. Drain valve. Check valve used to the bottom of the suction pipe to retain the water in the pump when it is not in operation or prevent backflow. Forced outlet. Basin or box outlet for a pipe drain in which the discharge will fill the basin and flow away over the ground surface. Forebay. Reservoir or pond at the intake of a penstock, pipeline, or pump station. Foreign materials. All materials added to or mixed into soil, including residues, soil additives, and foreign bodies that have not originated in the soil's development. Freeboard. The vertical distance above the elevation of the hydraulic grade line at working head to the tops of vents or stand. Free discharge. Discharge of water from a conduit into the atmosphere without backpressure. Free flooding. The area to be irrigated is divided into a number of compartments. Free flow. Flow through or cover over a structure without backpressure. Free water. Seawater. Free. Free water surface. That level to which water would rise in a hole that penetrates into a saturated soil. Frequency of storm. Is an anticipated number of years between storms of equal intensity and or total rainfall volume. Friction head. Equivalent head required to overcome the friction caused by the flow through the pipe and pipe fittings. Friction head. Energy required to overcome friction caused by fluid movement relative to the boundaries of a conduit or containing medium. Friction slope. Friction head loss per unit length of conduit. Frontal precipitation. Results from lifting of warm, moist air on one side of a frontal surface over older, denser air on the other side. Frost depth. The depth to which a soil will freeze. Gabion. Rectangular or cylindrical wire mesh cage filled with rock for protecting aprons. Stream banks, shorelines, etc. Against erosion. Gaining stream. Stream or part of a stream that has an increase in flow because of inflow from groundwater. Gallery. Underground chamber constructed for collection of groundwater. Gamma density function. It so far gives the best fit for most stations for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week and monthly rainfall totals of the country. Gate. A device used to control the flow of water to, from or in a pipeline, a device used to control the flow of water to, from, or in a pipeline, or open channel. It may be opened and closed by screw action, slide action, or hydraulic or pneumatic actuators. Gated pipe. Portable pipe with small gates installed along one side for distributing irrigation water to corrugations or furrows. Gate valve. A common type of manually operated valve in which a sliding gate is used to obstruct the flow of fluid. Gauge height. Hydraulics. Elevation of a water surface measured by a gauge. Gauging station. Section in a stream channel equipped with a gauge or facilities for obtaining stream flow data. Geological erosion. The normal or natural erosion caused by geological processes acting over long geological periods. Grade control. The process of maintaining constant and correct slope of a trench, ditch, terrace, canal, etc., using optical or laser surveying equipment. Grade line. A line established as a construction reference for ditches, terraces, etc. Grade stabilizing structure. A structure used to control the bottom grade of a channel. Graded terrace. A terrace with sloping channel. Constructed to reduce field slope length and remove runoff, with erosion control as the primary objective. Grading up. Is the continued use of pure breed sires on grade dams. Gradually varied flow. Is a type of flow if the depth changes smoothly over a distance. Grassed infiltration area. An area with vegetative cover where runoff water infiltrates into the soil. Grassed waterways. Refers to the establishment of natural waterways or construction of canals and planting it with grasses to make it stable and arrest soil erosion. Graded inlet. A specific type of surface inlet to a pipe drain projected with a grate. Gravel filter. 1. Graded sand and gravel aggregates placed around a subsurface drain, called a gravel envelope. 2. Well screened to prevent the infiltration of fine materials into the drain or well. Gravitational water. Is not held by the soil but drains under the influence of gravity. Gravity inlet. A structure to control the flow of water from an open conduit into a pipeline. Grid point method is a computer-aided method wherein it averages estimated precipitation at all points of a superimposed grid. Groundwater, water within the earth that supplies wells and springs. Groundwater flow refers to the flow of water in an aquifer or soil, that portion of the discharge of a stream that is derived from groundwater. Groundwater mining, pumping of groundwater for irrigation or other uses at rates significantly faster than the rate which the groundwater is being recharged. Groundwater recharge refers to the inflow to an aquifer. Groundwater runoff is a groundwater discharge into a stream due to deep percolation of the infiltrated water into groundwater aquifers. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.